I'm gonna go ahead and guess that if you clicked on this video title, you may be someone who struggles with ADHD. Well, today is the day that we're gonna stop thinking of ADHD as a weakness that's holding you back, and instead as an advantage that can actually help you be more successful in life. Yes, ADHD happens to be annoying when it comes to studying or focusing in general, but we're going to give you some strategies to help you crush your studying with a few brain hacks that will help you get the most out of studying, get it out of the way, and apply your gifts to what you were meant to be doing in life. I'm Andrew with Brainscape, an adaptive flashcard study app built on decades of proven cognitive science research into how we learn and perform better. And not only have we at Brainscape suffered from attention problems ourselves, but we've worked with thousands of students with ADHD, which has only increased our admiration of all the famous people that you might not have known had ADHD and overcame it, like Walt Disney, Will Smith, Simone Biles, Emma Watson, Richard Branson, and other hugely successful people who didn't let that scary diagnosis label them as unproductive. The truth is that human civilization itself have evolved because of, not in spite of, the brilliant work of people who are daydreamers, who are creative, who hate rules, who think outside the box, who don't accept the status quo, and who are easily distracted by saber-toothed tigers rustling in the bushes, so that they survive because of that awareness and pass on that evolutionary advantage to their offspring. It's only in the last few centuries that the confines of school have been foisted upon us in childhood, and we ADHD people are just not equipped to sit through boring lectures and readings. Now all of a sudden, if we can't sit still through 30 minutes of geometry, society decides we're just bad at learning without doing much to help? Please. Yes, there are doctors and there are medications, and I should say that if your attention problems are severely affecting your life and relationships, please do seek professional help. But when it comes to your attitude and your day-to-day activities, we can give you some tips for working with and around your ADHD so that you can focus on your studying and actually make all that knowledge stick, make that study time worth it. This first tip might sound like a no-brainer, but if you struggle with concentration, put yourself in an environment where that's just not gonna be an issue. I'm talking basement of the library, in a cubby, facing a corner, with white walls, without your phone even on you. Or if that cubby in the library basement isn't possible, at least something like studying at your kitchen table with your phone set to airplane mode, the TV off, music off, preferably, and nobody else around. Set yourself up for success and not for distraction. I can't tell you how many people with ADHD I see go to a noisy coffee shop to try to study, or who study in front of the TV, maybe taking breaks from their studies for Instagram and text messages along the way, and saying things like, oh, I need the TV on to study. I need the distractions of a coffee shop to study. No, you don't. I promise you, if that's you, you're lying to yourself. It is scientifically proven that we cannot multitask effectively as we could focus on one thing. The truth is that you just want to watch TV. That's okay, but admit it to yourself and understand that if you do, you're just going to have to end up spending more time studying later and kind of relearning the stuff that was only surface level deep there. I've learned this the hard way myself. Seriously, even just knowing that your phone is on and that you might have some shiny notifications waiting for you if you were to just look at your phone can be occupying valuable mental bandwidth and preventing you from really devoting your focus to that work. If you can keep your mind concentrated on the task at hand, then you will both learn faster and you'll get this studying over with more quickly. Our second tip is to use that time when you're most focused, not necessarily to study, but to actually plan the things that you're going to do to study. Really review that study plan, make an actual written checklist, and break your tasks into as many bite-sized milestones as you can think of. I know we've talked about this same concept in our videos on motivation and procrastination, but the same principles work here, and they're really important. The biggest blocker of our ability to start focusing, that can be that overwhelming feeling that I have so much to do and I don't know where to start. So once you've made that checklist with the individual items for, say, reread chapter 3, download the lecture notes for chapter 5, make flashcards for chapters 3, 4, and 5, study those flashcards while finally doing my laundry for the first time this month. Whatever the tasks are of the big homework project or study project that you have in front of you, you need that measurable milestone that is always just in front of you, keeping you focused on moving forward toward that next goal and earning that next little reward for yourself. Which brings me to the next tip, which is to match your studying with your available attention. And your checklist is really key here. You need to have a list of all the different short-term, shallow, and deep tasks that you need in front of you in order to allocate appropriately. For example, let's say you have a half hour or more right now to devote your attention to studying. Well, if you have your book and a computer, that's a great time to dive in. You have 30 minutes, maybe make a bunch of flashcards in Brainscape that you can study later. In other words, you're using this focused time now to organize your flashcards, think about what might make good questions and answers, so that future you, who is distracted, who only has a couple minutes to concentrate in between shows on TV or conversations with friends or whatever, can easily whip out your phone, study a few flashcards in Brainscape, rate your confidence in how well you knew each one so Brainscape can work its magic to help you increasingly focus on your weaknesses. And then you put your phone away. Future you is distracted, so set up all the things that future you will need to do those bite-sized study sessions, whatever tools you're using. Because the better you're able to sneak in the right study activity at the right time in your life, the less of a chore it will ever feel like to start studying. The less you have to think, what should I study now? Because that occupies too much brain power, thinking about what you want to study. You need to be able to match the study task to the time you have available. Our final tip is to make sure your other life habits aren't sabotaging your ability to concentrate. We've got tons of literature on brain health and habits over at the Brainscape Academy, but the big ones that are important for your ability to focus are, number one, get some sleep. I know this is hard for some of us, including me, but preferably get some sleep before the sun starts coming up again, and you will be aligned with your circadian rhythms and able to crush the task at hand. Number two, eat right. The most important part of which being to limit sugar and processed carbs. Sorry, I love those Oreos too, I know. Number three, drink plenty of water throughout the day. Your brain needs those nutrients that you just ate to circulate, and good hydrated blood is the best thing for that. Number four, move your butt. Especially things like squats or jumps or lunges or planks or other things that really work your glutes and core, because that's where all your posture and your power and your confidence comes from, is your core. The more confident you are, the better you're going to be able to focus. At the end of the day, if you have that evolutionary gift that modern society calls ADHD, you probably aren't meant to be studying for your whole life anyway. So just think of all this studying as an inconvenient means to a more exciting end that is your destiny. One day, you're going to be entertaining people or teaching or managing or creating art or producing or starting companies or treating patients or winning cases or designing or building things or saving lives or leading countries or any number of bigger things that you were made for. If you like advice like this, please remember to subscribe to this channel. Check out the Brainscape Academy, especially all those articles that help you build your attention span and build great habits like a warrior. And get ready to rise to your challenge.